All right, we are now live again, and in today's episode, I have Sir Mitchell. Hello, Mitchell. Hi, everyone. This is your host, Kherk Roldan, and welcome back to another interview series for the World of Search SEO Conference 2024. Join us for an exclusive live interview with our one of our speakers at WOSCon 24. And let me introduce you, Mitchell, to the audience. So, he brings over 15 years of experience in the IT industry and have achieved executive levels in corporate America. And he's also a successful entrepreneur for more than 2 decades. Imagine that. And Mitchell has made significant contributions to both business community and also non-profits organization. And Mitchell serves as a founding partner at Authority Solutions. And Authority Solutions, by the way, guys, they are our partner at World of Search Conference 2024. They are a digital marketing agency specializing in web design, SEO, content creation in B2B space. And they have experience helping countless of businesses and also brands leveraging the industry as well. All right. So without further ado, I just want to welcome you again, Michelle, to my show. Thank you so much for coming in. I know you are busy, but you still have time to come here. And wow, we have 23 viewers. I'm now live from my Facebook page, Facebook profile, YouTube channel, everywhere. So guys, you can share this live to your community and friends as well because we have this free giveaways to those viewers that are engaging. So how to engage? You can share this live to your friends and colleagues, and just put in the comment box a screenshot that you are watching this live webinar. And after this one of our team members will contact you if you're a lucky winner. So that's the mechanics. And yeah, Mitchell, this is the first time you're here in my show, and a lot of people are interested to know more about you. So please, can you share more about you, where you start, and also where are you now?
Sure. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on your show. It's an opportunity to get to spend this time with you and share a little bit about myself, the business, and just get to talk a little bit about what gets us all excited. Just the world of search and both things, your brand as well as just search in general. So as far as
Mhm.
myself, I actually came up as a young man in the IT space. That's why there's so many years of IT. I had a grandfather that was in IT, recommended that I get into IT. That technology was going to be good for me, and so I went that route: programming, routing, switching. I kind of made some modifications to my career path, and very quickly climbed the ladder and ended up into upper management. That switched. I migrated from that into entrepreneurship in
Okay.
2001. And once I went off on my own and started my own first company, it was in IT. So I started an IT company. I grew that for a number of years and had the opportunity to sell that. So that was the first company that I
Wow.
grew and sold. From there, I had the opportunity to start, sell, or partner with and sell multiple different companies over the years.
Wow.
I got really big into networking because for me, I was told that some of the best ways to build your business was referrals. Referrals come in, they trust you immediately. And so I was real big into networking through chambers of commerce and networking organizations like BNI, which are international. I know you guys have BNI in the
Mhm.
Philippines as well. And so that was a real big part of what I did for a number of years, growing my businesses. And then I started growing other networking organizations and having success at doing that. That led me into public speaking, doing some talk radio, helping others learn how to network and grow their businesses. So, with that, along the way, I came across an opportunity to start a digital marketing agency. And that brings us kind of to
Oh.
emotions. So, all of that past in history kind of coming to a point of having an IT background, problem solving, then coming to a number of years of helping people grow their businesses through networking and talking with and dealing with business owners
Okay.
and salespeople, and then having an opportunity to get into digital marketing. It really
Okay.
seemed like God had his hand in putting this plan together, because I never would have figured how to formulate all of that. But all
Mm.
of a sudden, here I am with an opportunity to be in digital marketing, to where I can put all those skill sets and gifts and talents together to be able to now start helping business owners and businesses grow their businesses in just a different way. But
Okay.
still, it's the same heart. I've always wanted to help business owners grow their businesses. This is now just a different way. We actually really help their bottom line by, of course, most of you guys know, build their funnel, get more people coming in, make the phone ring, make the forms fill out, and they get more business. And so that's the high level of the business side of it. On the personal side, I am married for 22 years, amazing wife. I've got two teenage daughters and a female dog. So I'm surrounded by estrogen all around me. I got no boys in the immediate family, so I'm a dad of girls, and they're dancers, all three of them. So we got dancers in the family. So that's me on
Wow.
the personal side.
Awesome. What a great story. And actually I'm blown away right now hearing your story, your your story and also where you're coming from. And there are also a lot of there are also a lot of visitors and audience right now who are very interested to learn more about you, and thank you so much for sharing that. It's a wonderful experience to know more about you as well, Michelle. And yeah, we have viewers from Crystal. Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much for watching. Esther, oh, my wife is here watching as well. Hi, William. Sid. Hello, Sid. All right, we also have our admins here. So, guys, if you have any questions for Michelle, just add it in the comment box below, and I'm going to read it, and so we can answer your questions. And by the way, we have a free giveaways to those of you who's following our guidelines that I said earlier. Okay, but we also added the guidelines in the description, so you can also check that one. All right. So, Mitchell, with your extensive experience in both corporate and entrepreneurship, how has your journey shaped your approach when it comes to digital marketing and SEO?
So really kind of building off of what I had just kind of finished telling you guys,
Mm.
is that for me, the journey was a continuation of my history and what I had done before, and that was helping business owners. So I was
Okay.
already helping business owners grow their business. It was I was helping them develop who they were so that they could better build their business. Instead, that was relying on the business owner to do all the work. So I was just teaching and
Mm.
helping them understand what they needed to do to get more referrals. So instead, as I transitioned into becoming a owner, partner, founder of Authority Solutions,
Mm.
we now kind of took the reins, as we would say here in the U.S. We grabbed a hold of the reins and we said, okay, let's take more control of this. And so now we
Okay.
were in control of driving more business into the door, so to speak, of these businesses. And so, like I said, it was still the same heart. It was still the same desire to help the business owner. It's just the fact that digital marketing gave us the opportunity to own the process more. I will say, and maybe this may get ahead of some of your other questions, but to be clear, and maybe to shape some of the questions, I know that in the digital marketing space, there's a lot of companies that do a lot of things.
Yes.
And for us, we started as an SEO agency first, and then we started doing web design because we realized that web design was important a lot of
Correct.
times to
Correct.
SEO. Then, shortly after 2 or 3 years, we got caught up following everybody else in the space, and oh, there's this and this and this and all the little
Mm.
shiny things that grab your
Okay.
attention. And so then we decided we were going to be a full service digital marketing agency, and we tried to offer everything under the sun.
Oh.
And in doing that, we found it to be very difficult to be excellent at the things that we were excellent at, because we were trying to be mediocre at everything. And
Mm.
so we struggled for a couple years there. And so what we did is we really kind of pulled back and said, look, we would rather, partner with somebody who does nothing but PPC. We'd rather
Mhm.
partner with and offer and be clear and transparent with a client and say, we have partnered with somebody that can manage your social media. We can handle
Okay.
it for you, but we're going to use somebody to do that because our expertise, you're coming to us to make sure your
Mm.
phone rings when people need your service. Well, we're doing that through SEO. We always tell them, look, you don't need to trust us. Do a search on the internet. You're going to find plenty of articles that talk about SEO being the highest ROI of any internet marketing service out there. So we're going to put our efforts where it makes you the most money. Then, if you want the other things, we can provide them for you through partnerships.
Mm.
But we didn't want to dilute our efforts. And so that just kind of shaping kind of who we are as an agency. That's why when you read the bio as far as who we are, that's why we're SEO, web design, and content. Now, because content is so heavily looked at by the search engines or Google as important, it is now definitely part of our offerings. But hopefully that answers your question to some extent.
All right. I'm glad to hear your insights about that. And there are agencies right now who's doing SEO as well, but there are also agency who's into that field, but they cannot provide a real results for their clients. So, what for you? What could be the reason why some agencies fail to provide a good results for their clients?
There's just a few. I mean, we we could choose any number of reasons why people or agencies fail to get results for their clients. Um, I personally, just as this is kind of off the cuff and talking with you and me and the people that are listening, I think one of the reasons why, as I've talked with other agency owners, as I've gone to conferences,
Mm.
one of the things is setting the correct expectations for clients. There is such a feeling of a need to do it super fast and
Mm.
get results in a matter of weeks or just the
Mm.
first couple months, that the agency will start to market themselves that way, speak that way, and then they're held accountable to it. So if they don't
Okay.
get results, if they don't get rankings, top rankings, page one rankings, top 10 rankings,
Mm.
if they don't get that in the first few months, then their client ends up bailing and going somewhere else. And so they
Yes.
consider it to be a failure and they didn't
Mm.
win. So, one of the things that, I've told many other agencies is we tell our clients it's 6 to 9 months for you to see that uptick swing
Okay.
because it takes time for us to do what we do, to build what we build, for it to get crawled, for it to attribute the value to the pages, for the work that we do to get attributed to the pages that we're building that support the pages that you have. It
Yes.
just takes time for all of that to happen. So if you trust the process, you will see that. If you give us enough time, you will see that success. Now, that's the first thing. I don't think that a lot of people give themselves enough time because they don't set the expectation with the client at the
Okay.
very beginning. And therefore, the clients will leave them before they're able to get the results. That's one. Two, I also see a lot of times people, especially new in the space, and we got caught up in this as well. We were joining and following a number of groups and individuals in the SEO space that pop their head up as influencers and YouTube channels and talking about all kinds of different things. And the issue is you can get caught up very easily in following the latest buzz of, oh, this is working right now, and this is working right now, and this is working right now.
Yes.
And so you can get very caught up in trying little gimmicky things that
Mm.
people say are working
Okay.
instead of just sticking with what is tried and true foundationally, what makes sense in ranking somebody's pages. Now, I'm
Mm.
talking organic. I'm talking, we're not getting into local and GVPs and all kinds of, but I'm just talking about ranking a page. And for the most part, at a high level, I would say for the most part, it comes down to two things. off-page SEO and on-page SEO. That's pretty much it. People, and if I can take a minute on this, because this is something
Sure.
I don't know I'll have the time to speak on this on stage, but when it comes to SEO principles, I do take some of this from my networking. So when I've networked in the real world and stuff, the principles of networking, I believe, apply to how the search engines like Google are looking at the world. I mean, it used to be, the more traffic you had to your site, the higher it would rank. Well,
Correct.
like, well, that could be manipulated. Okay. Well, then it was like, well, if you had more backlinks to your site,
Uh-huh.
just whoever had more backlinks, I mean, we're going back in the 90s, right? Well, if you
Yeah.
had more backlinks, well, then you would rank higher. Well, then they were like, well, hold on, that can be totally manipulated. We can't do that. Right. So there was like
Okay.
all these iterations that,
Mm.
things went through and the algorithms started changing over time. So Google, and other search engines go through this iteration of trying to figure out, well, how do we try and figure out how to determine which one of these sites and pages should be the top of the top against all the other ones?
Mm.
And I try to simplify this down, real simple for people. If Kherk, you and I were at a networking event, okay, we're at a mixer, okay,
Okay.
which we'll have some mixers of sorts at the World of Search, which all of you guys listening definitely come. Hopefully you can partake and join us at some of them, some of the events that we'll be having. So let's say we're at a networking event, we're at a mixer, and all of a sudden somebody walks in off of the street. They just walk in and nobody knows who they are. And they walk
Okay.
in and they go, I am the best web designer in the entire world. And they just start hollering from the top of their lungs how amazing they are. Now, of the 200 people in the room, who's paying any attention to them? Nobody. Like, you look at them and they're crazy, and you turn
Yeah.
around, you start the conversation back with the person you were talking to. See, that to me is a great example of somebody who believes that on-page optimization is all you need to rank. They throw up a website, brand new domain, brand new page, and they optimize it as best they possibly can. And they expect that somehow, by telling the world everything about yourself and doing it perfectly, that somehow Google's going to think that because you said it, it's true. That's
Correct.
not going to happen. What happens if you walk into that same networking event and you walk around the room, and as you're walking around the room, there's only 5 people out of that 200, but 5 people in that room know who you are. And 5 people are walking around going, Kherk, oh my gosh, you see that guy who just walked in? Kherk, he is amazing. He's one of the best web designers in the world. And as you walk around the room, all of a sudden, 5 people just keep telling other people about how amazing you are. They're not just saying how amazing you are, but they're saying how amazing you are as a web designer.
Yeah.
That's the real world. And
Mm.
you walk around that room, and as you bump into other people, they want to know who you are. Your
Correct.
value just went through the roof amongst that group of people. In the online world, Google is just trying to represent and mimic the real world. See, that's off-page SEO. Off-page SEO is having a few strong links that are talking about you with the right anchor text. See, it's one thing to say Kherk is amazing when he walks in the door, but it's even better to say he's amazing at web design. See,
Mm.
it's the real world implemented online. And so people miss that. Like, don't try to make it too confusing. Don't muddy it up. Just realize those simple things that's off page. And yes, you do have to have the on page. But until the rest of the world, until somebody else says that you're amazing, Google doesn't care what you say about yourself.
Mm. Correct.
So you got to have both. And so that's why it does take time to get those results. We get results, we get the client to understand it takes time,
Mm.
but we're going to do the off page and then we'll dial in the on page when we start to see it coming in. And at that point, boom, top rankings, clients
Wow.
happy. We have a client for a long time. So I know it took a little bit of time there, but hopefully you
But
guys see some insight.
actually, yes, actually, it's very helpful. You explain it very well in a easier and simple explanation about on page and also off page, which is very helpful for people out there who's new to SEO. And thank you so much for sharing that. And I love what you said earlier about you mentioned about correct expectation, because there are clients and also freelancers or clients and agencies that those agencies are really good when it comes to sales calls. However, during the time that they explain how or when are we going to see the results, then they are not really good with that one explaining what could be the expectation or when are we going to see the results. And they tend, like when they're working together for a couple of months, then client asks, hey, where's the result? Why are we still not getting the result that we wanted? And then they tend to have a problem there because no expectation that's happening right during the sales call. So it should be explained there at first. And you also mentioned about trust the process. So yeah, in SEO, it's very important that we have a process for everything that you are doing. If not, then how can you provide the deliverables and also promises that you made for your client? And lastly, you said about networking, which is very great as well. So I hope to see you everyone there, and also Michelle in World of Search conference, because uh, we have a great networking sessions that we are going to do in this event. And thank you so much for for joining as a sponsor in our event. I really appreciate that, and also the team as well. So yeah, we have 58 viewers. Hello everyone. So if you have any questions for Michelle, just add it here in the comment box below, and I'm going to read it. And before answering your questions, guys, I still have questions for Michelle. Next question will be: how do you foresee the future of SEO evolving in the next 5 to 10 years, particularly the advancement in AI and machine learning?
Well, how do I see SEO continuing to morph and transform as we move into the AI space more? That is, I wish I had a crystal ball, Kirk. I do. I wish I could see right into the future. And if I could answer this question 100% correctly, I'd be making bets, I'd be making investments, and I would be keeping it 100% to myself. Um, but I don't think any one of us have an absolute 100% answer. That being said, I do think that as a continuation from the conference last year, there was some great points that were made when talking about AI, and I really wanted to echo
Okay.
some of that. I mean, that was that when it comes to AI, there are a group of people that think that AI is replacing, like for instance, replacing content writers. Um, Instead, it gave content writers that would embrace AI an opportunity to rise to the top and set themselves apart. So, yes, there is some semblance of AI replacing some people, but it gives opportunities for others to become even better. That's in a microcosm, right? In a very specific small space. We're talking about a content writer, how
Mm-mm.
one can be replaced because of it, and the other one can rise because they embrace it, and they can now, because of AI, they can produce 10 times as much content, better content. Like there's no
Yeah.
way one content writer can read 10,000 articles and determine what the average answer is and write one in the perfect voice. You know, they just can't do it. For
Mm-mm.
us in the SEO space in general, we look at the idea of AI and the tools that are coming out, taking
Okay.
advantage of AI in a very similar space as that conversation we had last year at World Research. And that is that we have to be careful that we don't get in the same, whining and crying about SEO, and AI is going to kill SEO. We have to be aware that we are likely to be in the same boat as those content writers. And that is that
Mm-mm.
some of us will allow AI to throw us to the side without a job. And other agencies are going to continue to embrace some of the tools that allow you to do more faster and better
Mm-hmm.
than others. So I think that those that embrace AI, that learn the tools, keep paying attention to what tools are out there, that's I think one of the most difficult parts is you're trying to build a business as a business owner, agency owner, or just a solopreneur. You're trying to build something, you're trying to do the work, and you have to also research and keep your hand involved in whatever's the newest thing? The answer is
Mhm.
yes. So it's difficult when you're a one man show or one woman show, but if you have a team, it's important that somebody is keeping on top of what the latest is so that you don't get left behind. You definitely have to stay plugged in. AI is just going to continue to evolve, but I truly think that it's going to give us opportunities to be able to do more faster and better. I don't think it's going to crush things. I don't think it's going to squash SEO. There may be a morph and a tweak and a change to how things happen. And I think that the SEO agencies are not going to be able to do things as fast and loose and gimmicky as some may, which, by the way, goes back to what you were saying earlier. How do some agencies not get results? It's because they're
Yeah.
doing too much of that. They're doing too much of the trying, the this, that, and we just order this gig. I'm just going to order this gig and just going to order this gig. Learn how to do it. Learn foundational how to do SEO. Either do it yourself or hire some people to do it, or but understand the process, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, if you understand the process and you foundationally can get results for one client, you can do it over and over and over again. And if you're an agency, my recommendation is, if you don't have a client you can work on right now to get results, start a project. Start a little side project, get results for your side project, use it as your example in your case study to get your next client.
Awesome. What a great answer. And I'm also happy about your answer because there are a lot of agencies that I know right now that they are really scared. Some of them stop or discontinue with their agency because this AI, like one friend that I have they have a content writing agency and they stop because of AI.
Well,
And upon
just tell them to send, just go to their form, and at the end of their form where it says form notifications, just send it to sales@authoritysolutions.com. Just any inquiries that they get, they can just send them our way and we'll take care of them. I'm
yeah,
joking.
because
I'm joking. The point is, they should not be
oh,
bailing out of the industry.
mm,
There's no reason for them to bail out. They need to embrace the tools and take care of
yeah,
people. More people have needs.
that's what I like what you said earlier because instead of like having a problem worrying about this AI, and you said continue to evolve, and also this AI will give us opportunity to make the work faster and also better, and which is really true, right? We have question here from Diane. Question: how can you explain SEO to a 7-year-old kid? And this is also for people who are new to SEO world.
Explain SEO to a 7-year-old kid. I love it. So, if we do have people new to the SEO space, um, the concept of SEO, as I would explain it to people, because yes, I do actually have friends and family that try to explain, what does Mitchell do? What does his company do? So I always tell people SEO, or search engine optimization, is the idea of taking somebody's website or online assets, whatever those are, and
Mm-mm.
making sure that they show up at the top of the search results for whatever search term is important to them. When their clients are searching for those search terms, we want that client's assets to be showing up at the very top of those search results for them to be able to get more business. That's the bottom line of what SEO is. At the end of the day, it's just helping a client get whatever assets they want at the top of the search results for whatever search terms they want those assets showing up for. That is the simplest answer to what SEO is.
Awesome. And I believe everyone can understand about what is SEO the way you explain it. Thank you for that, Michelle. Darrell, great night. Diane, wow, more learning. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. Another question that I have for you: what are the common misconception about SEO that you often encounter, and how do you address them?
So, if you can refine that question, Kherk, for me, would you be saying from a client's point of view or from other SEO's point of view?
Okay, let's start with the client's point of view.
Okay. So misconceptions from a client's point of view comes a lot from what they either have heard over the years. So a lot of our clients, the way we market is we market to people that have already been in business. So we don't market to brand new businesses. We're not looking for the person who just started their business yesterday, and we're not trying to be the first SEO person they've ever dealt with. So the thing is we do have people that have preconceived notions of what SEO is, or they've worked with someone before. And so if they've been around, they do believe in certain things. Like they may have been around long enough to think that the content needs to have bold and italics all over the place.
Okay.
That, back in the day, it used to be like if you had a certain amount of your keywords in bold and italics and things, it's going to help your rankings in a tremendous way. And so I've had them ask me about that. They've
Okay.
asked those types of things. They've asked me, well, can we put keywords off in the white space, just in white text off in the white space over on the side, so we can really get all these keywords. These are like business owners that know just enough about SEO that they're dangerous. Like if they knew how to log into the website, they would mess things up. So these are some misconceptions that no longer work. AI has closed the loop with all the algorithm updates that it's done. You can't do any of that funky stuff anymore. And so some of the clients have come to us thinking those types of things, like little tactics. And so we've had to explain some of that to them. They also come to us thinking that SEO is some magic wand that we can just make a page rank because we do something with smoke and mirrors. So
Yeah.
they'll come to us and expect us to have a page, and they don't like content. So this is one that happens frequently. They'll be like, I don't like all those words. All those words on the page. It's too many words. Like, well, how many words do you want on the page? And they
Mm.
want literally like they want a little paragraph, like 2 sentences. And then they want a number of pictures, but then they want that page to compete with other top performing pages that have 1,000-word articles and pages with content and explanations and FAQs and lists and all kinds of other ranking factors, but they want like no content on their page because it's too much content. See, these are expectations that are unreasonable because you're not doing what other people are doing. You're not being able to measure up to what the other people are doing, the other check boxes that they're checking off
Yeah.
to be able to be at the top in the top results. So they tend to think that we have some magic wand that we wave in order to make things happen. So there's, again, setting expectations. When we have those initial meetings, a lot of times it's getting some of this out of the person, like, what are your expectations? What do you know about SEO? Some of those are great questions to kind of get an idea and gauge where they're at as far as their knowledge so that you know what you're up against. I love asking that question. So where are you at in SEO? Like what knowledge do you have? Because I want to make sure we're on the same page. I want to talk to you, not, down to you, but, at your level. And that's how I frame it. So that way I kind of get a good answer from them because they want to tell me, they want to be educated. But at the same time, I'm actually trying to dig to find out what do they really know and what kind of opinions can I get out of them so that I know whether or not they're going to be a problem, for us or not. So
Mm.
that's one of those things when it comes to expectations. The other is we talked about earlier is expectations of, well, I got this email from somebody in the Middle East that tells me that they can have me top ranking #1 position in Google in 30 days.
Oh wow.
So,
Oh my god.
this happens all the time. And then this is another one of those expectation things. I mean, talking about nuggets, Kherk, hopefully this interview is great for everybody because these are nuggets that which should be shared from the stage. Agency owners, like if they're not already doing this, they ought to be doing this. When you're working with a client right
Okay.
now, if they're not ranking in the top 10, they're likely not getting a whole lot of traffic. If they're not ranking in the top 20, then they're not getting scraped and marketed to. So
Okay.
therefore, they're not getting a whole lot of any emails, contact forms, anything like that. So they're really quiet. But as soon as you start doing SEO to that client and you get them ranking into the top 30, top 20 in the teens, all of a sudden your client that you've been doing great work for, your hockey stick growth, your mountain, you're climbing, you see great results. You're climbing the rankings. You're excited telling the client you're doing all this great work. You're on your way. You're almost to page one. All of a sudden they start telling you, hey, what is this email? I just got this email. I just got this form to fill. And they start giving them to you weekly, because now all of a sudden everybody is scraping that website because that website is showing up on page two. And all
Mm.
these people in certain countries that are common to do this are scraping these sites, and then contact form bots are sending these messages saying, hey, we noticed your site. This is the same form thing. We noticed your site design looks great, but we noticed some issues with it and your SEO is off and you're not ranking on page one. We could really help you. And if you give us a call, we can show you how we can have you ranking in the number one position in the next 30 days. It's like a standard email contact form message and stuff like that that clients will get over and over and over again. This is problematic if you don't let your client know ahead of time that it's coming.
Okay.
So this is one of those things where when we set expectations with the client, we can cut this off ahead of time. And then they get it and they go, oh, hey, by the way, I got that email thing you were talking about. We must be doing good now, right? So when you set the right expectations, they're looking for it. They realize when they start getting them, you must be doing what you said you were going to do, because now you're getting them high enough in the search results that now they're
Mm.
getting picked up in those crawls and getting scraped and so forth. But otherwise, if you didn't, now it looks like you're defending yourself. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. We are doing a great job. That's
Mm.
just garbage.
Mm.
That's a garbage email. Just discard, just trash it, throw it away. And in the back of their mind, they're like, is it really? Am I really with the right person? Should I be listening to this thing? So anyways, that's on the client point of view. Do we have time to talk about other SEO people and some of their misconceptions?
Yeah, and by the way, you mentioned earlier that like asking client or the client asking for faster results, right? Like, what's your solution for that? Let's say, for example, you have a client right now who's asking faster result. What are you going to say to them?
So you can only in the world. I didn't come up with this. I'm only repeating it for generations and generations for probably hundreds of years. You can get it faster, you can get it better, or you can get it cheaper. You can only ever choose two of these three things. That's just a truth. Faster, better, cheaper. You want it faster and cheaper, it's going to cost you a whole lot more money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So any two of those things, faster, better, cheaper, right? So if you want it faster and cheaper, you're gonna struggle somewhere. Like you got to give up the better if you want it faster and cheaper. If you want faster and better, you're gonna have to give up the cheaper, right? So you're always giving up one of these things. So it's like, okay, well, if you want it faster than we would normally do, then it's not at this price point that we agreed upon. The other thing is, we don't, at our agency, we don't allow them to push us as far as timeline. We are very, very much so like, this is the time frame, this is the timeline that we say, 80 to 90% of our clients are going to follow,
Okay.
because we believe in building a solid foundation of stats around your domain and your pages in order to get them to rank. We're not looking for gimmicks, and we're not trying to do too much too fast to draw any kind of penalties. It used to be manual penalties before, now it's algorithmic penalties and issues and stuff like that. So we don't want anything to happen to our clients' sites negatively. So we get results for them, they get a win. We have a system to that, but we don't just push the limit and have something inorganic looking. I mean, if it looks inorganic to us, you better believe that it looks inorganic to an AI. Like if somebody's traffic and backlinks and referring domains all of a sudden go whoosh, I mean, Ahrefs, SEMrush, or Majestic, and all of a sudden you go from I'm adding, 5 or 10 referring domains on a monthly basis to 1,000, and oh, I added 30,000 backlinks this month. I mean, come on, like that is not normal. And
Mm.
so you're just playing with fire when you do that kind of thing. In the past, we've seen horrible things happen. not to us, but to other people as we've been to conferences and other agencies and things where somebody's tried to do stuff like that. We've seen people get away with it. We've seen other people not. So we just don't run the risk. We're like, look, we don't, we're dealing with people's money and their livelihood.
Mm.
And I take that seriously. Our business, we really tout the fact that we're about integrity. And so, with the fact that we believe that integrity is important, we don't want to do for somebody else anything that we wouldn't do for ourselves. And so, we're not going to go messing around with somebody's domain and just be like, well, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's run GSA and throw 100,000 backlinks at it, and hopefully it's going to go ahead and rank tomorrow. Like,
Oh,
we're just not going to do it. It's not worth it.
awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful insights about that. And yeah, so we have question from said, hi, for a startup SEO company which probably experienced a number of mistakes in a country like PH, where I think SEO is not yet recognized. What are the top SEO mistakes that you would suggest avoiding? Maybe ones that you can sacrifice having over other mistakes. Thank you.
So, number of mistakes in a country like PH. Well, first of all, it doesn't matter what country you're in, everybody makes
Mm,
mistakes. I think everybody
mm,
makes very similar mistakes.
mm.
And that's just being in business and doing the same business. If anything, you guys in the Philippines probably do more SEO than anyone else in the world because so many of us around the world come to you guys for help in the SEO space. So don't short yourself.
Mm,
What are the top SEO mistakes that you would suggest avoiding? So there are changes that are happening that you definitely want to be careful of. So right now, there's some changes happening when it comes to being careful with links. The amount of links, garbage links, sending too much of them, expired domains. There was some updates that Google had pushed out recently about using expired domains. It was one of the things that we had done for a number of years. We would take expired domains and redirect them. So we'd buy an expired domain that had a bunch of backlinks to it, and we would just take that and redirect it somewhere. And so that would work because you would, instead of having to build backlinks, you'd buy a domain that had hundreds or thousands of backlinks, and you'd redirect that whole thing, and all of a sudden, boom, you got all those backlinks going to a target.
correct. Mm,
But I had said for years, like, that's a very easy thing for an AI or some sort of computer algorithm to pick up on. And plus, as we have moved more towards topical authority, it's really hard to find a domain that's topically relevant in order to redirect to something specific. So those are things that we have kind of pulled back from ourselves because of that risk of continuing to do that and have that be a negative. We actually did start to see some pullback in rankings and some efforts that we were trying to do on some different projects and stuff like that. So I would be very careful in using domains to 301 redirect to boost things. Just be very careful with that. And it used to be people would buy them just for the amount of domain or amount of backlinks. And so you got to be careful in what metrics you're looking at. So mistakes that people would make early on in the SEO game is looking at tools and not understanding what you're looking at. So for the most part, you're likely to be looking at Moz, Majestic, Ahrefs, and SEMrush. And so when looking at the different tools, you're looking at different companies that are trying to give you their estimation of what Google believes the value in backlinking is. And so they all have their own little twist and flavor on it. So Moz has domain authority, page authority.
mm,
Okay? When you talk about Majestic, you've got trust flow and citation flow. With
mm,
Ahrefs, you have the URDR, which is the URL rank, and the domain rank. So with each one of these different platforms, they have different benefits. And I would say the major, if I were to give you one thing, is understand those tools and don't just marry yourself to one. If there's a way that you can get your hands on more than one, or there's some tools out there that'll give you the ability to kind of run multiple, so you can see a domain and see a page and get stats for multiple things. But we started off by feeling like authority was the major thing. We would run against Moz and the domain authority. Oh my gosh, the domain authority. And I was, in my mind, I was like, the domain authority for this domain is amazing. I didn't get it initially. It's like the domain itself doesn't really matter. That's like a company. Like the company, let's say, is Apple. Apple
Okay.
has so much value. That's
Yeah.
incredible. But if the janitor from Apple came to the world of search and spoke on stage, how much value would that janitor actually bring
Yeah.
to the world of search stage? Nothing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That is the page authority for the
Mm-hmm.
janitor. The janitor is just a page, a URL of the entire site that is Apple, the company. So you have to think of, what is page authority versus for a URL versus domain authority of the entire domain. That's the same way as, looking at the Ahrefs. We personally like Ahrefs. Ahrefs, if you look at how they all look at backlinks, Ahrefs usually has the most recognized backlinks. They pick them up faster and they recognize them dropped faster. So my recommendation to you guys is watch Ahrefs. And Ahrefs has a great opportunity to understand the value of the backlinks better as well. So as far as where those backlinks are coming from, the value of them, and if there's multiple, like if somebody's using one domain to just create 1,000 backlinks, it'll pick that kind of stuff up to be able to devalue that. So I would definitely look at Ahrefs, but understanding what is the off-page value, page authority, URL rank, trust flow, research that. Use AI. This is the amazing thing about AI. Like you can literally just sit there and ask those questions and educate yourself really well on what all those different metrics are so that you understand it and start to use it. So when you're creating backlinks from a page because that page is actually passing juice or value to your target.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that people miss a lot of times is how to manipulate the value, the passing of the juice, okay,
Okay.
moving the juice back and forth. Get a handle on that, and you will get way ahead of most of the people that say that they understand SEO. They don't really have a clue.
Awesome. So, said, did you get that? And it's a great answer for your question. And you're very knowledgeable for this topic and also for SEO, Mitchell. And my question is, how do you stay updated with this latest trends and changes in SEO?
I actually have a microchip in my head. I'm part AI. Uh, just no, I've got to give a lot of props to my team. Our team at Authority Solutions, I'm very blessed and fortunate to have a team that stays plugged in. We have our Slack channels that we stay in communication with as a team. And so at this point, as my business partner, Zachary, and myself are working on the business and moving the business forward, we rely on our team. And we have our content team, our web design team, our SEO team. And so as they are paying attention to different channels out there that talk about different things, whether it's, they're seeing blogs come out or people chatting on different, Facebook groups or whatever, and they see something, they'll post it and share it with the group. And so everybody can educate on whatever the latest thing, whatever the new thing is. For instance, I didn't see it, recognize it. One of our guys posted recently that Google had just decided to pull back their, infinite scroll. So infinite scroll is going away and they're going back to the pagination. So 1 through 10 page, 11 through 20 page, so, I would have missed that. Our team picked up on it, shared it, so I just have to give props to them. They're able to stay on top of that and we share and collaborate as a team. So, that's how I stay up on top of things, is just being able to lean on a good team.
It's really great. And I guess you have your team here watching right now, like Jerry Cordero. Let's
Way to
go,
go,
Team
Jerry.
Authority Solutions.
What's up, Jerry?
Awesome. All right. So your passion for educating a lot of people is very great, awesome, and that's also uh, why a lot of people loves you as well because you're doing well with helping a lot of people in the Philippines as well and other countries that you are working with. So how do you envision the World of Search conference contributing your knowledge sharing and also collaborating within the SEO and digital marketing communities?
So, how do I see World of Search helping with my efforts of educating people?
Yes, yeah. Okay.
So I saw the opportunity to be able to speak at the World of Search event as an opportunity to exactly do just that, just to share things that are on my heart that I know are important, and we may have a little bit of time to elaborate on this more, but this year I'm going to specifically speak about really kind of protecting. And a lot of agency owners are building agencies and businesses and brands, and most of them have no protection to their brands. They don't even really understand what that
Oh,
means. And so, I'm going to really kind of be narrowing in and kind of talking really about, you build something, you do want to protect it. You don't want somebody to come in and kind of steal your brand. And what does that look like, legally as well as online, digitally? But being able to share these things that are important, I would love to have, hours on stage. It'd be amazing. I love to share, what I've learned and things that I know that people have taken and run with, and that's awesome. But given the time that I have, at least this is something that I have not seen shared in the digital space. Really, it's all usually technical, like how do you this and how do you do this, and within the SEO and content and AI space. And I just thought it'd be nice to bring something this time around that was more for the agency owner, so that even if they're starting, they have something to kind of look towards. And that is like, as I'm building, I if I get to a certain point where I feel there's value in what I've built, I really ought to
okay.
make sure that I protect it so that I don't lose what I just
Okay.
finished building. So
Wow, I'm very excited to learn from you as well in that stage, and I'm sure we can have a lot of conversation after that as well because I'm very interested to know more about that. Um, your role at Authority Solutions involves helping businesses, right, and also safeguarding their online brands and online presence. So, how do you advise clients on creating a cohesive digital strategy that also integrates SEO and also brand protection?
there's a couple things. For the most part, I try not to get too much into complete and total brand strategy, which I know may seem like a departure. However, I know that there is a space for that, and that's not a space that I want to own, because I want to stay where I feel I'm going to speak from 100% confidence. I didn't go to school for branding or anything like that. I know what works in our space digitally, for protection and so forth. But outside of in our lane of what we need for our clients, and we'll give them direction as far as what we need to do our job.
Okay.
But outside of that, and outside of giving them direction, like, hey, if you want to increase your footprint, here's social media. If you want to increase, awareness, you could do blogging and push that to social media. And we'll kind of give them some direction on that. But that's kind of the extent of it, because I always come back to SEO for our target market. Our target market is bottom of the funnel. For instance, if you have a toothache and you have a pain in your jaw that's throbbing and you have a migraine, okay, you're not thinking top of the funnel. What blog did you read recently that talked about the top 5 dentists in your area? You're not thinking about a TikTok of a dentist somewhere that you're trying to scroll back and find. You're going to Google dentist near me, and you're going to find one that's at the top, and you're going to them right now, right now. So we are bottom of the funnel. That's where we live, and that's where we talk about that with our clients. So when we talk about framing, our role and responsibilities with the client, it's really around that, and making
Okay.
sure that their brand is aligned for what we need to do. Now, some of them come to us with like big old long, you know, logos that won't fit into an avatar for a profile image, and we have to like work with them to kind of clean some of that stuff up and get something graphical that'll work. And there's some of that kind of stuff that we will do that's outside of just SEO and those types of things to make sure that it all aligns and works well together, so they understand the purpose of why they're going through all those little other exercises. Um, but just to kind of make sure you guys understand, like when we say that we focus, we want to focus and make sure that this is what we're doing to get results. A lot of times I see that agencies will try to do a little bit of everything so that if the client likes their social media posts, they go, oh,
Mhm.
well, that's a win, because they're not confident in getting a win in social media. Well, hey, they like that article. That's a win. So they're hoping that maybe the client will stay with them because they liked something else that they did. You know, that concept of if I get multiple hooks in them, that
Mhm.
maybe, you know, they'll stay with me long term. We're kind of the other way around in the sense that SEO is a large chunk of the monthly recurring revenue. Social media is tiny. Adding some blogs on a monthly basis is tiny. So when it comes to the kind of clients that we have, when we were looking at social media or some of the other additional services, the revenue or profit from those additional services were small compared to SEO.
Mhm.
So therefore, if I had a problem with those additional services, I run the risk of losing all of this recurring revenue because they got upset because of a social post. So, you know, for us, we didn't want to gamble this revenue because of these little side services that we were offering. So we kind of go back to that whole thing. I don't know if I answered your question. If you want to repeat it, if I
Yeah,
didn't answer
it is.
it enough.
It is. It is. It is answered. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
We have question from Rustom. With the evolving and changing landscape of SEO, what would you say are the constant or should remain the same?
It's a good question. So kind of going back to what I was saying earlier about the real world and my analogy, if you know, if you guys were listening earlier in the call, as Kherk and I were talking about networking, you go to a networking event, you know, the people that talk about you and say nice things about you, people are going to respond to that more than the person that walks in the room and just beats their chest and tells the whole room, oh my gosh, I'm an amazing web designer. So that's kind of that difference between, you know, on page and off page. So with that analogy, I would say the constant is that concept of the real world is all about that third party credibility. That referral triangle is what we used to call it in the real world. So that third party person that says nice things about you, that's how it's been for generations. That's how the online world works, is that third party saying nice things about you. I think that's a constant that isn't going to go away anytime soon. It's how we go about getting those that's been manipulated a lot very easily in the past. So like that's the constant, but how's it going to change? So the constant is backlinks, I think, are here to stay. Off page SEO, here to stay, because that's how you have that third party credibility to your brand, to your website, to your target, to your money site, whatever you want to call it. But how do you do that? There's a lot of resources right now as far as buy backlinks, you know, buy backlinks from us and we'll sell you backlinks from all these different things, right? And no shade. I'm not throwing any shade because hey, somebody has a business doing that. More power to them because they find a need, they're solving it, right? But if you're an SEO or an SEO agency, you should have the ability to create backlinks one way or the other. Source them, build them yourself, create them. And so if you can do that in a way that doesn't look scammy or like you're manipulating things, you're going to be safe. And you now have the control. So, you know, moving forward, it's still backlinking, it's still off page SEO that's going to continue to move the juice around. You, just as an SEO, have to be the one in control. You're the conductor. You're the one at the circus,
Correct.
making sure that everything is doing what it needs to be doing at the right time in the right place. So you just, as an SEO, be a good conductor, know how to move that juice around.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Another question that I have. So, can you share a success story from your career while leveraging this SEO and also digital assets that are boosted your company visibility in the market and also the position of it?
So I figured you might ask something like this. And so I gave some thought of what were some success stories. And there was really kind of a number of things to me that were exciting along the way. And so we were very fortunate to be introduced to a surgeon, uh, a robotic surgeon that got into the robotic space early on, like 10 years ago. He
Okay.
was one, he was one of our first clients. He's still one of our clients today. He continues to be a client. He's what we call a lifer, right? We ranked him to the top, keep him there. He's happy. He's a happy camper. Um, and so what was great about that is he had the foresight. He had the foresight to know that robotic in the surgery space was coming. If we did a Google search or we did searches and the keyword planner and AdWords and used any of the tools that use the keyword planner data, there was no search volume for any of that stuff. There was no search volume, 0, NA, 10 maybe. So here you have a client that comes to you and says, these are the things that I want to rank for. And you're like,
Hmm.
there's no search volume for any of it.
Okay.
So you want us to charge you a bunch of money to rank you for things that there's no search volume for? Success story though. He had the foresight to know that this was an emerging space.
Hmm.
We talked through with him. We said, well, we know the search volume for these terms without robotic in them. If we were to add robotic in them where it makes the most sense that somebody would type it in, what variations would somebody add robotic as it becomes more of a common term? Well, then we could build a campaign around that, content, keywords, off page. And we did that. And as we did that, he was number one. And as the space evolved, he
Hmm.
continued to be number one. That to me was an amazing success story because that was being able to be on the front edge of something before it was something. So that was really fun and exciting. And it was really fun because we started off trying to make sure he ranked in just his town outside of a major metropolitan city. And then he ranked in the top of that major metropolitan city, and then he ranked nationwide. And
Wow.
somebody's in another country, you can actually search for top terms in another country, and he still shows up. So it's pretty amazing after this many years. His results there. So
Wow.
that was one of our success stories, and I would say that a couple of the other ones to me that kind of stood out was just the fact that as an agency, as we were developing,
Okay.
it was fun to take on clients that for us it wasn't just local. So a lot of agencies will start off, you're dealing with local clients, local area, it's safer. You're dealing with a geographic area that you can control a little bit easier. So when we had a client that was, we're in the United States, so we're
Okay.
located in Texas. So when we had a client that was, in Mexico, and they were in Mexico, but their clients were searching from the US,
Okay.
that was all of a sudden different. So you're like, you're not your clients in Mexico, but the searches aren't from Mexico. It was like clients in Mexico, but searches are from the US just to get them there. So that was a different experience to try to make that happen. And we were successful there. And then the other one was when we first had to do a client in the legal space in
Wow.
Europe. And we had a client in Europe that left a major corporation that in the legal space was ranking number 1, 2, and 3 organically and GBP in their space up in Europe. and he left his company, came to us. We built him a website, did SEO, and outranked his company in less than 12 months that he left. A major corporation, that like major corporation. So this one guy left that corporation and then was outranking that corporation in a year's time. So, and that was, for us, it was great because that was an international client in another
Mm.
country, showing that it doesn't matter where somebody's at, we can do what we do. So those were some of the fun
Awesome.
things along the way, just kind of making us, pat ourselves on the back. Yeah, yep, we did that kind of.
Awesome. Yeah, I love to hear your story and also success results with your clients that you have. So thank you for sharing that wonderful story and experience as well. And looking ahead for speaking at the World of Search conference, what key insights or takeaways do you hope attendees will gain from your presentation or from your speak?
Well, it depends. If you guys have half a day, they can take away tons of things. I'll just talk all afternoon, and we'll just take away nuggets after nuggets after nuggets. But in the slot that I'm slotted for right now, the nuggets that I hope will be the takeaways that you guys will take will be more along the lines of in alignment with the current topic, and that is the protection of somebody's brand. The idea is that, just to kind of give you a taste of where I'm coming from, you know, Authority Solutions, we have aligned with a intellectual property attorney that puts on a conference every year called Technoeconomics. And because of that conference, we've gotten to know the IP space very well, intellectual property. And
Okay.
so intellectual property, from a legal standpoint, attorneys deal with trademarks all the time, and they,
Okay.
internationally, right? So they help people, trademark brands and, product brands and company names. They also deal with, other stuff, patents and things like that, right? But anyways, in the trademark space, we started to learn that in the legal, they do all that all day long. But it doesn't necessarily mean that even just you're legally protected doesn't mean that your online space is protected, because we all
Mm,
protect things digitally, right?
correct.
We can own the online space.
Correct.
But the flip side is also true. You can own the online space and then not have a legal foot to stand on. So somebody can come in behind you legally and take your brand. So
Correct.
that's what I'm going to talk to, is that concept of making sure that you're taking care of both sides of the same coin.
Okay.
And just kind of give an example. I'll talk a little bit more elaborate on how we had somebody try to steal our brand, after we
Oh,
were in business for a number of years.
exciting. Okay.
We'll kind of, I'll give some story behind that and what that looked like for us and our experience. And so definitely stay tuned. Hope you guys are there at the conference. You get to hear that story, and the reason why it's passion. There's a passion there for me. My business partner Zachary and I both, take part in this technoeconomics conference each year, because it's something that we see as missing. And so
Mm-mm.
it's one of those things that, there's plenty of space in the IP space. So hopefully some other agencies and SEOs will see that when we talk about this, they may see this as an opportunity for them. Find an IP attorney in the Philippines, find an IP attorney in whatever country you're coming from, in Europe and Australia and the US. I mean, there's plenty of them. And this is an opportunity, an open space that, could be a great referral partnership for a number of people. It's
Correct.
nothing that I've ever heard anybody else talk about. And it's a great referral partnership that we have with this IP attorney that we've been working with for years. He comes to us with all kinds of projects. People are taking advantage of other people, and they don't know the internet, so they're constantly asking us to do research and find out who did what and who posted what and using somebody's brand. And so when you have those resources and you know how to do those searches and use Wayback Machine to find what people used to do and what they used to say, you bring a lot of value to these people. So it's just another opportunity to show that you're the bomb, that you know your stuff.
Wow, I'm very excited to learn more from that because honestly, there are a lot of digital marketing agencies right now, and their brand, it's not protected, right? So this topic is very important for us to learn more from this. There are also a lot of content ownership that that digital marketing is, or digital marketing company really needs to to do and also improve and add. And also, it's very important for them to maintain competitive advantage, right? And preventive authorities for using it. And also, this will be very helpful for legal resources as well, because it can also build trust and also credibility for their business. So this is a must have for digital marketing and SEO agencies out there, about your topic, which is related to intellectual property. So I'm very thankful that you accepted our invitation to be one of the speakers at the World of Search conference. And yeah, I know you're really busy, but you're here. But I still have two questions, so I
Yes,
hope that's
bring it. No,
fine with you.
I'm
Okay.
excited. Keep it coming.
Sure. So, reflecting on your journey, what's the most valuable piece of advice you can give to SEOs right now?
Most valuable most valuable piece to give to SEOs.
Mm,
I think it's really more of a personal development thing than anything. Um, you're going to get plenty of technical knowledge, how tos, and advice through the world of search and all the speakers that
mm,
are probably more technically advanced than I am. But what I can tell you is just from a personal development standpoint and somebody just in business who's got
okay.
a few years under his belt, you
Okay.
just need to get up more times than you fall down. So you're going to get knocked down. You're going to have a client that yells at you, gets mad. You may not even understand why. They could have had just a bad day. Learn to manage your own emotions. If you're going to be in business, if you're going to run an agency, if you're going to have teammates, if you're going to have VAs, if you're going to have staff of any sort, if you're going to have a business partner,
Mm,
learn to manage your own emotions. Don't let your highs be too high and don't let your lows be too low. Manage your own emotions. It'll keep you from falling off the track.
I'm also writing what you're saying right now, because it's very powerful and important. Because there are also a lot of people out there, like they're really great into SEO, but then again, their personal development has a problem. They cannot manage their emotions. They have a problem in that aspect. So, thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. You
Thank you.
got
And
one.
yeah, all right. So finally, if you could offer one piece of advice to your younger self, and also at the outset of your career, what would it be, and also why?
So, advice to my younger self really would have been find a mentor, seek out a mentor early and
Okay.
often. I did not understand that concept or principle,
Mm,
and it took me a number of years of just floundering, or kind of like somebody who doesn't know how to swim getting thrown into the deep end of a pool. I was just hands flopping around trying to keep my head above water. Even when I, you know, started as an entrepreneur initially, there was so much that I didn't know. Yes, I knew IT. I knew how to take care of computers and networks, but I didn't know anything about, accounting and legal and business and insurance and everything else that comes along with it. And so there was a lot to learn, and having a good mentor would have sped up the process. It would have saved me a huge amount of time, money, headaches, pain, suffering. I mean, like, so much. And for me, being somebody who goes to the Bible for a lot, for
okay.
source of wisdom, it's in there countless times to seek wisdom, to seek good counsel, wise counsel. It doesn't just say seek counsel; it
Okay.
says seek wise counsel. And so the determination there is to have the discernment and understanding of not just seeking counsel. Don't just don't go to somebody else that also doesn't know what they're talking about, because now you got two idiots giving them advice, and the two of them are going to go in some weird direction.
Mm.
Somebody needs to have the discernment to understand to seek out somebody that has been there, done that, and can give them good advice based on wisdom. Intellect and experience, you know, creates that wisdom. And so I was very fortunate, because of some connections that I had mentors come into my life and present themselves. And then I was able to take them up on some opportunities to mentor me, spend time with me, give me some correction advice, course correction, telling me about personal development, how important personal development was in my life. This is something, I mean, personal development is so important to me that, I mean, in fact, I know a number of my team is watching our this live right now. I've seen a number of them pop up. I don't know
Mm.
how many of them are watching, but we've got a number of them, and I love the fact that on their own, not on the clock, we don't pay them to do this, but we have a personal development call each week where I give
Wow.
about an hour of my time, and we talk about different personal development things just to help our staff grow as individuals, because we know that if our staff is growing and developing and becoming better versions of themselves, that the entire team and culture is going to be better a year from now than they are today. And so, props to you guys, that are on this call listening in. I'm always proud of you guys for stepping up, joining that call, growing, wanting to grow, because for me, that's one of the things that I know in my past that made a huge thing to me. I would go
Mm.
back and tell myself, find a mentor sooner, faster, seek out another one each stage of my life. Because that one person isn't going to be the person that takes you all the way. So you got to find mentors along the way, somebody else that you can align with, come up alongside of, ask them out. Don't be afraid to ask somebody out to lunch or dinner. Buy them lunch, buy them dinner. You're seeking their advice, their wisdom. The
Mm.
cost of lunch or dinner to take somebody out that has wisdom and knowledge that
Yeah.
they impart to you, buying them lunch or dinner is nothing compared to what they could save you just in an hour's worth of knowledge and advice and wisdom that they can impart on you. That was one of the things that I had to wrap my head around, is that sometimes the time that they're willing to give you can save you days, weeks, years of heartache and headache. And so that's my biggest piece of advice, is seek out that mentorship and create. If you have a creative bone in your body, like if you feel
Mm.
like you're a creative person, you like to create, you like to build, grow things, don't hesitate. Just get in there, start creating, building, growing, and make it happen. We I mean, I'm excited because this is the first time I have not built anything programmatic wise since I told you I was in programming, like when I was in IT. Like I was
Yes.
going through high school to college and I was a programmer. I left programming back then. It wasn't until my business partner Zachary, he got signed up with ChatGPT like what 2 Novembers ago or whatever, like when they were rolling out, and we
Mm.
we got heavily into the AI content space as an agency, and we've developed some amazing processes and procedures for us to be able to do what we do. But we don't want to keep it, like the Bible says, don't keep the light under a bowl, right?
Mm.
You want to let it shine. You want to let the world see it. And so, we've been developing our own SaaS platform based off of our process and procedures that we've been using internally to be able to do what we said on this call, like take AI and use it as an SEO so that you can do more, better, faster, accomplish more, set ourselves apart as SEOs so that we don't get buried with those that don't know how to use the tools. So
Mm.
we're developing one. Hopefully, Kherk, you're okay with us sharing as we get
Yeah.
close to the conference. Topic Vein is the name of our software. We're actually going to be putting it all together and presenting it. Crossing our fingers, we'll actually be able to launch it with you guys,
Awesome.
because
Oh wow.
it would be an incredible tool for everybody to use. it's one of those things that has allowed us to kind of rocket ship our business.
Okay.
So it's the same concept we talk. We want people that want to grow. We want them to grow, whether it's our clients or other SEOs. There's so much business in this world that the ones that want to grow, we want to help them grow. The whole concept of, oh, there's, we have to kind of hide and hold on to, what we can and don't share. And that is such a minimalistic viewpoint. There's so much business out there that,
Mm.
that concept of, rising tides, raise all ships. So if we can do something and bring something to the market and create and share, and it helps those that want to help themselves, man, we're all for it. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited. I'm excited to be speaking at the event. We're excited to bring our whole team. Our whole SEO team is coming. We're pulling all of our team actually into Manila to be able to have some time together as
Wow.
a company. So my business partner and I will be coming, which, by the way, I don't know if you've traveled from Texas to Manila, but that is no quick flight. So, it'll be a journey, but we're coming. We're excited about getting there, spend some time with you guys, and not just to speak, but to hang out with you guys, and of
Yeah.
course, take a lot of good knowledge with us as we leave as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of time to discuss there because we have 2 days free event or free conference, meetups, webinars, and also networking as well. So yeah, and really great advice by the way you're sharing earlier. I'm also proud of you, okay, because you are helping your team to grow in personal development and also skills in related to the services that you're offering, because not every agency owners will do that honestly, and because I know some of them that they don't have this training, which is very important for an agency to grow and also for their people to grow as well outside the work, outside their company. So I'm proud of you by doing that. And yeah, because we have a lot of audience right now that are watching and they are also interested to know more about authority solutions. So can you please tell us more about this one, and how can they visit your website, or what's your website, so they can also see your businesses you're offering?
Well, that is it's a love hate. It's a love hate relationship right now because our website is under construction. So
Okay.
we've had the same website for a number of years. And so if someone were to go to the website, they'd be like, well, Mitchell, I thought you just said you guys aren't really marketing pay per click or some of these other things. So, yes, I know. We're currently under redesign, and we are pressing and pushing our team to actually launch our website. Not just the Topic Vein website for the launch of our SaaS, but also the Authority Solutions website. We should have a whole new face before World of Search, just so that way it kind of gave us a date to push for. So I want
Okay.
to thank you, Kherk, for having a date that we're having to show up for, because it kind of put a line in the sand where we're like, okay, guys, it's got to be done by World of Search. So
Mm.
it kind of gives us that opportunity. But authoritysolutions.com is our website. You guys can go there, check us out, communicate with us. Our social media is out there. Definitely send us a message. We'll definitely respond. But the website will be changing and updating here in the next couple months as we're getting closer to World of Search. And so once we're there on site, boots on the ground, so to speak, you guys can check out the website at that point. It'll be our new updated look and feel, and definitely will be more aligned with who we are today.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Michelle. And before we end, can you invite us, or can you invite our viewers for the World of Search conference?
Inviting the viewers to oh my gosh, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Everybody that's viewing this, whether it's live right now or whether or not you're watching the replay as it's posted, definitely come on out to the World of Search. We've been to last year's. We came to the
Mhm.
last year World of Search, as I was saying before, and we were so impressed that we decided to help out this year and sponsor. And of course, my speaking this year, because I believe in what these guys are doing, and we wanted to see them be even more of a success. And so 100% support what they're doing. I invite you guys to get a ticket while you still can. Get a ticket today. If you got a team, you got an agency, get a ticket for a few of your guys. Come on out there together. definitely meet up. Let me know you're coming. We'll shake hands. We'll meet up, grab some coffee,
Yeah.
get to know each other.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited about that. So, yeah, thank you so much, Michelle, for being on the show right now. Appreciate it, and also your time you spent with us, and also to Mitchell's team who's watching right now. Thank you also, guys, and to every one of you who's here listening. And this is also a recorded video, so we're going to chop this video to a reels, so we can also provide a lot of value for all the answers that you're saying earlier. So thank you so much, Michelle, and everyone for your time. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Michelle.